Smash Factor.
Ripping driver, going for it. Oh my goodness. How about that tee shot?
That is crazy how far that is.
Wow. John Daly, take a back seat, big fella. How about that drive?
That's an aggressive line. That is beyond long.
Look at this, he's just driven the green. He has just driven the green.
I guess hello world, huh?
Welcome everybody to another episode of the Smash Factor, week 39 on the 2020-2021 PGA season, the John Deere Classic, better known as the week before the British Open. But a lot of similarities last week. I think we can take a lot of the same players are coming back playing this week. Similar setup, birdie fest, fairways fairly easy to hit. So I think we can kind of roll some positive momentum from last week into this week, and you know, let's try to build our bankroll for the big British Open next week. For me, DFS wise, weird week, completely broke, like almost to the dollar. I think broke even on the main slate, was up a lot in and out Sunday, had plenty of chances, had great lineups, full fade of Bryson and Webb worked out. Webb wasn't as high on as I thought he was going to be, but he was still one of the top 20. Bryson was obviously way high owned. It did not play any of him, but my two pivots off of that was Reed and Matsu. Reed did okay and finished strong on the weekend. Matsu, definitely the withdrawal hurt. I think, can't remember how many I had. I know in the 150 max, I had like 22 5 of 6s, I think, that had Matsu in it. So that kind of stung. And then I had, I think, 2 5 of 6s that had Chappell. So another withdrawal. He withdrew after lock, but before his tee time Thursday. So those kind of didn't break well. But the rest of the pool was great. I had a lot of the guys up there. Absolutely kicking myself for not betting Cam Davis. Thought I had, for the most part, until I was reviewing the odds Saturday night and realized I just bet him first round leader. I mean, if you listen to the pod for a while, I've obviously been on Cam for a while. I like him. Played him a lot this week. Was way overweight on him. Lebiota made a run there Sunday that helped a lot. McNeely made a run Sunday that helped a lot. Had a good, I mean, you get all the pieces there, and you just got to hope it works out. Broke even. I'll take that. Actually finished third in the listener league. I don't think I've ever won. I won the football one. I think I won it back to back in the fall, but I don't think I've won the Gups Corner listener league yet. I did finish third this week though. So Neiman obviously was our big ticket going into Sunday. Needed him to win to cash the outright. He loses in the playoff, making his first bogey. So I was a little down on that, but all in all, when you have a week like that and you have a lot of the right pieces, you just build on it and move on to the next week. Luckily, we kind of get to roll right back into a similar setup and similar feel, and I don't think it's to be quite a draw the line in the sand with Daniel Berger as it was with Bryson, but definitely gonna have to make some, who do you fade up there? Do you fade them all type of deal? Last week it wouldn't have hurt you to fade them all. So I'm fired up for it. I'm looking forward to it. Before we get into it, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Shane Battier. He did send me one of these bucket hats for the TakeChargeFoundation.org. On their site, we are dedicated to providing college scholarships, dynamic programming, and academic resources for underserved yet driven young scholars. He's been a long time GC sub, great guy, obviously a Duke all-timer, played at Miami, won a championship at the Heat. Great foundation. You can go to originalnations.com, search for Shane Battier, and you will find his fundraiser. All proceeds from those bucket hat sales are going to his Take Charge Foundation. You can go to his Twitter and look at it. I posted it as soon as I got the hat last week. It's an awesome hat. I wore it fishing that night, and then went over to go hit some balls as well. Great guy doing great things out there. So if you want to help out with Mr. Battier, you can go check that out today. Promos this week. We're going to start the British Open promo this week. We'll run it this week and next week. Use the code British. for 30% off any package, which includes a 7-day free trial. Been talking that up. We have big things coming here in the next probably 4 to 6 weeks for NFL tools package is going to be awesome. The GC, the Green Machine is getting another big upgrade for stackability. So where you can stack, MLB players. Definitely football is a big stacking sport. Even golf to an extent. We'll have rules in there where I want 2 of these guys in every lineup. NASCAR is one that I think it'll be great in. Ryan's doing a tremendous job with NASCAR, and a lot of times he'll talk about the dominators and stuff he wants to use in it. So I think the way we're building it is going to be awesome on top of all the other tools we're going to roll out for football season. Come check us out now. Code is British for 30% off any package. Can also use the code British in the GC store and get 30% off any gear, hats, shirts, HV3 shirts. We're almost out of those. So if you want to check those out, that goes a long way in helping us as well. All the money profits on the HV3 shirts go to the HV3 Foundation. We're down to very few shirts left. I think maybe 20, 30 left. So if we can get those sold, I will be cutting a check to Mr. Varner and his foundation as well. Rate and review us on iTunes goes a long way. Definitely will help us next week. So if you can do that now, I always do big giveaways for the major. So I'll have another one next week. I will pick a winner from the people that have rated and reviewed us on iTunes. That is one guaranteed free way to get into a drawing. Subscribe and like this video on YouTube. We've grown, continue to grow in there. I appreciate it. Leave a comment on this video on who you want to fade in the 9K range this week. Fade in the 9K range. Listener League winner last week was Jenny Wap. He has already accepted the end of the year invitation. Congrats to him. A little lighter this week. This is a Tuesday morning. I sent out a post last night to the premium members on my schedule this week was a little different with the way the 4th fell and some things we were trying to get done here. So I'll be caught back up on all the premium content by end of the day today on Tuesday, but had to push some things out. DK was kind of off yesterday for vacation as well. So with the Listener League going out a little later, it will be in the podcast. In the audio version, only 300 spots this week, so I expect it to fill pretty quick. We will go for a bigger one like we have the last majors next week for the British Open, so looking forward to that. Jenny Wap's lineup was Neiman, M, Higo, McNeely, Davis, and Power. Solid lineup, obviously, to win it. Very, very well balanced. Thought he did a great job building that. Congrats to him, and we will see him in the finals at the end of the season. Course preview, as always, I'll direct you to our boy Kenny Kim and his pod, Fantasy DGen, or check out his article on the site and his enhancements that he adds as we get to Wednesday afternoon. If you want a full breakdown, my notes, TPC Deer Run. I mean, this is a course we have seen a lot of, so no surprises here. Par 71, 4 par 3s, 3 par 5s. Similar to last week, like I said, the par 5s are actually easier here, I think, and most people can reach them. I think you want to take a look at who can score on the par 5s, but it is a lot more people will be able to reach them than we saw last week, where it was the longer hitters had a chance. And it was also wet, as we saw the rain in Detroit. Easy to hit fairways for the most part. Another second shot course. Putting is going to have importance. Predictability of that is something else to talk about, but it does. You see the guys that have won here in the past. We've done well here. This is my biggest hit ever in 2018. The Michael Kim year. No one had him. I think he was like 0.27% owned or something, so he didn't really factor in. And won 4 or 5 contests that week. I'm over $200,000 a week, so we've done well here. Looking forward to it this week. Bent green grass, if you're looking at putting statistics, that's what you'll be using. Weather, there's a chance of rain every day, but Thursday. So Thursday looks nice right now. There's a chance tomorrow, Wednesday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It looks like just these summer pop-up showers. Nothing to factor in as far as wave stacking or anything yet. But it has been, Illinois has gotten rain just like a lot of us here in the last week or two. So could be a little softer. Wind could factor in a little bit with those storms. Nothing right now. As I reach in deep dive later and then get into tomorrow's pod, the movers and shakers, I'll update anything I have there. Right now, I'm not factoring any wave advantage or anything. Cut, I'm going -4 and winner -19. Prior winners for Telly, -21. Michael Kim, like we talked about, he won by 8 strokes with that minus 27. That week we had Burgoon, Damon, Molinari was all in some of those lineups I had. I think HV3 might have done well that week. So those, Bryson's won here, Spieth won here twice, Harmon's won here, Ryan Moore's won here, Stricker won 3 years in a row, 09, 10, and 11. Some second place, Zach Johnson, Snedeker, Kyle Stanley, Ben Martin, Patrick Rogers. So, Russell Henley. Back in 19, they did not play this event last year because of COVID. So you can kind of see a big variety of type of guys they have won here. There's no just protocol. When Bryson won here, it was not beefy Bryson. It was normal size Bryson. So, I don't think that – I think good drives kind of matter a little bit just to set you up in a better position to score, but nothing strong off the tee. It's really going to come down to wedges and being able to make birdies and scoring on DraftKings. I mean, we talk about that a lot. It's not just – it's why Cam Davis – different price this week, but last week, when he makes a cut, he's volatile game. A lot of even his rounds can be crazy, but when he gets on a roll, he can score, especially on the par 5. So that does factor in, especially this week when we are going to have probably 18, 19, 20 under win it type of deal. Key stats for me, I'm looking at good drive, strokes gain approach, birdie or better, scoring opportunities inside 18 feet, accurate approaches, and then some par 5 DK scoring. 29 guys in the field right now have not played it in the last 4 years, 2016 to 2019. So the majority have at least played it once. A little uptick to course value this week, course fit. I think, just in doing the way I judge that, a lot of guys that have done well here seem to continuously do well here. And a lot of guys that have missed the cut or high finishes, have done it consistently. So I do think knowing the course and playing it well matters a hair over normal. So I have that bump just a little bit. Salary ranges, we know it's a quote unquote weaker field, going to be, hard to stomach some of that sticker price. You're just going to have to, I talk about it all the time, it's all relative to the field and the pricing. So you kind of get over that, but there's some advantages, to be had there. Only 4 10K guys this week, which is lower than most any week. Lowest I've seen in a while, matter of fact. 7 9K guys, 11 8K guys, 38 7K guys, and 84 6K guys with, I think, 4 Monday Qs that'll be added sometime today. So we'll probably get close to 90 on that 6K range. The way they've done the pricing leads itself to just kind of be balanced in general with only 4 10K. Making a decision on, which of those top guys you think you want to go in on. It'd be interesting to see how the industry does. I listened to Kenny and Tambo this morning at the gym. That's the only one I have listened to so far, being I'm a little bit later than normal. Berger isn't as much of a lock, quote unquote, as what Bryson was last week, and we saw how that worked out. In general, I will let ownership dictate how I go for the most part. I can make an argument on any of these 4. Cam, I think he'll probably be the lowest own up there just because not a lot of people like to go for the back-to-back winner. His game is also, like I said, it's so volatile that if he gets off some, plus we're coming off a win, maybe it's not, it could be a good GPP play, MME play. Harmon's probably going to be super popular. I like Sungjae. I like where his game is. I didn't necessarily think he could get all the way up to 10-7, but it doesn't bother me. He's one I'll have my eyes on. And then Berger, of course, will be, I don't know if he'll be the highest owned. He's got 2 good finishes here. He comes in as my number 1 ranked player of the week, but so did Bryson last week. If he's not stupid owned, I don't mind playing Berger. I think he's definitely right there with Sungjae and them as some of the talent. But we'll get to that part. We'll start this out with the Sweet 16. If you're new, appreciate it. Like and subscribe, rate and review, help us out there. 9K and above, I give you 3 in each range plus a bubble boy to get you 16 guys, a fade of the week, sleeper of the week, some gut feel plays, betting, one and done, and we get out of here. I will do a Tuesday tidbits later on this afternoon after I do the deep dive stuff, just like I normally do as well. So for me, I'm going to start with Sheamus Power. I played him last week. I talked about him on the Tuesday tidbits and Wednesday move because he Monday queued last week, so he was added late. Some of those guys, more times than not, aren't really a factor, but last week I really liked a lot of the late ads, and Sheamus was one of them. Played him overweight on the field. 3 straight made cuts here, a 61st, a 16th, and a 25th. He's top 40 in the bent putting stuff, so that's good enough for me. Stat-wise, he's 6th for me. He's number 2 overall in my model. 2nd in accurate approach, 19th in par 5, 8th in birdie or better. I mean, he's just playing really, really good. Last 3 tournaments, a 19th, a 19th, and an 8th. My assumption is he's going to be popular, especially at the $9K price. But there's going to be enough spots to just play low-owned, lesser-known name guys this week that I think you can pick your spots of where you want to eat the chalk and then just build differently and uniquely in your builds. So I'm going to go Sheamus. I'm going to go Sungjae. Like I just mentioned, I like him. Not worried about pricing too much this week because I think you can build pretty much however you want, and there's going to be enough low-owned type pivots and guys, frankly, when you're looking at certain money levels that I'm like, well, you're splitting hairs and I'm saving $1,000 here and he's half the ownership. That kind of stuff will happen this week. And then you just take risks. You gotta be a little uneasy to take some risk, and some of those risks would have worked out last week, and they did for us. So I'm going to take that same mentality. My last in this range before the Bubble Boy is Noren. I like him. I like how he finished. We talked about him last week, excelling at the birdie or better type mentality. So we're right back there again, a 4th place with a strong Sunday last week. He's great on bent. I'll go right back to Noren this week again. My Bubble Boy's burger, and it's simply going to be, is he going to be talked up and high enough like a Bryson was last week per se? If not, I don't mind going to him. I could see a lot of people jumping on Harmon because you're saving the money. I could see people going to Sungjae, showing a little bit of form, a 35th, a 35th, and an 8th coming into it, a 26 last year for last year for Sungjae. So I could see people going, I don't have to pay up for Burger. But the 11-1 is what's attractive because it really doesn't hurt you in your builds. I mean, you can start him and some 9K guy and definitely still make room on it. So he's a Bubble Boy because I kind of want to see, is he going to just be that super chalk? I don't necessarily want to play that. I'll rather go elsewhere. And it kind of be like Bryson. Bryson came down to Wednesday for me to make the decision. I decided pretty early I wasn't going to play him in 1-3 max, but then decided to go full fade of him by the time I got to Wednesday afternoon, evening. 8K range. Again, I'm going to go back to a lot of the guys, kind of ride that form. I'm going to go back to McNeely. Played great last week. 21st, had a 30th at the Travelers. He's top 20 in bent putting. I'm sure he'll be talked up and owned some, but that's fine. I just, these kind of birdie fests, I think is good for him, his game. And if he's got a hot putter, which he tends to putt better than most, he can make a run. So 88, I love the pricing too. I'll go back to McNeely. Kazire was a guy that gave us a huge leverage last week. And Sunday had a great Sunday that really helped one of my better lineups. At one point I was in the top 5 in most of the contest. He shot out Sunday morning with, I think he was 7 or 8 under, that really boosted the rest of the lineup that had like Neiman and those kind of guys in it. So I'll go back to him. He's number 1 in the putting model again. He's got a 25th and a 30th here in 17 and 18, did not play in 19. Before last week, he did have 2 missed cuts, but, looked good last week, strong finish, maybe get that momentum. 8,900 is a little high, so he wasn't very on last week. Maybe he kind of goes on the radar again, and I'll go back to him. Lebiota is the one I'm a little worried about ownership. I think he'll probably get talked up quite a bit. He's on quite the run, a 31st, a 5th, and a 4th. He did miss a cut here in 2019. He is good on bent, though. He's 28th in the bent split model for me. He's a guy I almost put him as the Bubble Boy, but I do like him. I like how he's playing. I watched a lot of him Sunday. It really kind of depends on the ownership. I mean, if he's going to be a top 3 or 4 own, then maybe I look elsewhere, or maybe I just go even on the field. But I like a lot of these other guys around there that I certainly can move around and about if I need to. But as of now, I definitely like Lebiota to keep it rolling. Glover is a Bubble Boy for me, mainly because the putter is so questionable at times, but he does have 2 great finishes here, a 25th and a 10th. I like that. I like his stats outside of the putting, a 41st last week. I don't think he'll get talked up too much. He could be in that 10-12% range, but you're going to have a lot of these guys when you're looking at the mid 7s and up that that ownership's going to kind of be like last week. I think it's going to be very flat and spread out. I don't think there's going to be there'll be spots of chalk, but I don't think Glover is going to be one of them. So I'll go to him this week. I put him on the bubble board just because I don't like his bent splits on putting, but it's nothing to keep me off of him. It just someone has to be the bubble boy. 7K range. I'm going to start back with Pat Perez, 7,700. Played him last week, 14th, finished 14th. I like that. He's 10th in the bent model putting, 24th in stats, 5th in birdie or better, 5th in DK par 5 scoring, 14th in accurate approach. A lot to like here. 37th last year here. Again, it's kind of a rinse and repeat week. I played him last week. No reason for me to get off of him. I'll go back to him at 7,700. Next, Scott Stallings, 7,400. 25th last week. His last 4 years here at TPC Deere Run is 16th, 5th, a miscut, and 18th. So 3 top 18 finishes with the miscut in there. I like that. He was coming off a couple miscuts in a row before having a solid week last week. Pricing is good for him. I like some Scott Stallings this week. Bo Hostler, a guy that I didn't play, was kind of on the radar just because his form was looking so good. And maybe I did get a little of him. I'd have to double check that. But I'll go back. I'll go to him this week. Now he's got a 19th, a 10th, a 25th, a 26th here last year, 16th in the putt. We know he can get the putter rolling. So I like those kind of guys this week. $7,800. These are the kind of guys I'm going to be loading up on. I'll go back to Mito. I'll see, he kind of burned some people. I don't think he was too high owned. I was on him. I gave him out. Maybe the miscut kind of gets settled. I don't mind going right back to him. He was playing so good on the Korn Ferry Tour. Maybe a lot of people aren't going to play him now that he missed the cut. And they're like, is he really that good? I don't know. 7,600. I think the pricing scares some people away too. Should be low owned. I have him as a bubble boy just because of that, but I'll probably be playing him, especially in MMEs this week. 6K range. I'll go back to Adam Schenk. He was one of my favorite plays last week. Did good. I think he had a 6 under maybe Saturday or Friday. Shot up the board, but didn't do much after that. Finished 41st, which at his price last week, that was fine. He had a 6th here last year, a miscut in 2018. He's 4th in my stat model overall, though. 1st in accurate approach, 6th in opportunities inside 18 feet, 23rd birdie or better, 14th in approach, 25th in par 5. A lot to like with him at $6,900. I hope he kind of just stays off the radar so we don't get too much of a chalky shank, but I do like him at $6,900. Roger Sloane, another guy I talked about last week, did well. He finished 21st. He has a 10th here last year. I'll go back to him at $6,900. Ben Martin was a guy I did talk up who missed the cut, but a 39th and a 2nd here. He finished 2nd back in 2016. 40th in bent putting. He does have 2 miscuts at Palmato in last week. Yeah, I don't expect him to have too much ownership. He didn't have a lot last week because he Monday queued. But at $6,800, I'll go to him. I like his game in general, especially for this kind of place. Vincent Whaley is a bubble boy only because he was kind of the darling for a little while. So I wonder if people will go back to him. He finished 58th last week, so nothing spectacular. I don't want to play a chalky Whaley, but I don't mind him if he's just going to be averagely owned down there at $6,800. And there's a few guys in the 6,000s this week that I like, so I can pivot off of him if he's going to be high owned. If he's just going to be that 4 to 5, 6%, I certainly don't mind playing him. He's got the upside of the scoring as well on DraftKings. Fade of the week, as I mentioned last week, I'm not really going percentage, just more off just a guy that sticks out to me as an absolute. I'm not playing him. And then Wednesday I'll come back and talk about as we get a better grasp of ownership. But Kevin Knoll is a guy I'm not going to play this week at $9,500. He is 100th, I think, in my initial model. His stats aren't great. His recent form is 85th in the field. He does have decent history here, an 8th in 2016, a miscut in 2017. I just so many better plays I'd rather play over Kevin Knoll. I'll pass on him this week. He's always a risk for withdrawal as well. Sleeper of the week, and I want to say, let's look. He may have been part of the. I think he was. Yeah, he was part of the 2018 Big Haul Burgoon. I'll go back to him. Not going to pop anywhere as far as recent. 3 straight miscuts. Stats, though, he's okay. He's 38th in the field for me. He's got a 47th, a 2nd, and a 47. So 3 straight made cuts here. $6,700. I like his upside. Little positive mojo for me back from 2018. So I'll certainly play some of them. I don't expect him to be talked up much. So we may not have to play but 4 or 5% to get way over the field on him this week. But he is a guy that I will have in my MME builds for sure. Gut feel plays of the week for me. I'll start with Redmond. Here's one of the guys that did burn me with a miscut last week. Killed some good 5 or 6 or 6 of 6 lineups. Would have been if he'd have made the cut. I'm hoping he burned quite a few people because he was pretty high owned last week, and maybe nobody goes back to him. I'll go back to him. This kind of tournament, 37th here last year, a second at Palmetto, 61st, then the miscut last week. So form's been okay, 26th in the field. I'll give him a try, especially 8,200. I really just don't think I'm gonna have to play a lot of him because I think he'll be a lot lower owned or talked about this week. So hoping for a lower owned Doc. That's where I like to play him when he's not talked up. So I'll go back to Doc. Tom Lewis, 29th in my model, 25th last week, 35th in bent splits, 36 in my stat model. Nothing to hate about him at 7,500. I had a good week going last week, pretty consistent. I like him this week at 7,500. My third gut feel play is CH3. Not going to find anything stat-wise that really sticks out to me, but he's got 2 good finishes here, a 19th and a 6th. Recent form's been okay. He did miss the cut last week. You're talking about a guy I think that could be, 3 or 4 or 5%. So $7,900, he may be a great pivot type deal, especially when you're eating chalk. Wawrinski is a guy that I like this week. He's got good history here, a 25th, a 23rd, and a 47th. 2 missed cuts before getting a 25th last week at the Rocket. We know his putter can heat up and get hot too. 7,600 is a pretty good price there. If we can make the cut, give us top 30 upside. I like Wawrinski as my last gut feel play of the week. Top 5 that pop and 2 long shots provided by Monkey Knife Fight. You can go to gupscorner.com/affiliates. Click the link there. Use the code GUPS, GUPS, for 100% match up to $50 on your first deposit. I like Power. Looks like 40-1. McNeely 40-1. Stallings 80-1. Bo Hostler 66-1. Tom Lewis 80-1. My 2 long shots, I like Ben Martin 150-1. And I go back to Shank at 200-1. And those guys, you can do like the top 5 or each way if you have that ability. Definitely don't think I'll go too high on the board this week. Like, I like Sung Jae, but I'll probably do some doubles with guys like maybe Berger or Sung Jae with the Euro field this week being so strong and all the guys over there for the Scottish Open. I may do something like that, but I think I'm gonna just take some of these longer shots in this kind of field. Last week it would have worked out. Davis was anywhere from 110 to 160 to put on when you bet him. So maybe we try to get one of those this week. One and done. I definitely think it depends on your personal situation. It's a good week to get outside the box. You're probably gonna have most of these guys available. You may have used Berger, I doubt you've used Cam Davis even, but like a Bo Hostler. If you're really trying to make up ground, Alex Noren, I'm sure you haven't used him. Kazire, Aaron Wise, Power, any of those guys, McNeely, I think are viable depending on your personal situation. If you're just trying to tread water and get to the big payout next week, a Berger or something like that, you think it's got the safe cut, make the cut, get you some money. Possible top 10. Those are also live. Redmond wouldn't be a bad, I think he can win. Although it's not likely, but if you're way back and you're needing to make up ground, I think those guys come into play this week. I will be doing E9 tomorrow afternoon. Not sure on Kenny's schedule. I know he'll be joining for the British Open. I will have Tuesday tidbits out later on this afternoon. Again, this is Tuesday, and still movers and shakers out tomorrow. All premium content will be caught up by the end of the day today. Which I sent that out last night telling everybody what was going on there. Don't forget to use the code BRITISH for 30% off any package, and it includes a 7-day free trial. No risk, no harm, no foul. If you don't like us, cancel before the 7 days is up and you never get charged. Looking forward to, a lot of great things coming up. We got the NBA Finals tonight, Game 1, $1 million pot up on Draftkings. Didn't even realize they were doing that until yesterday, really. I've, of course, been so busy, but that should be some fun. NASCAR, we have huge UFC card this Saturday. Lots going on. MLB's hot and heavy right now, getting ready for the All-Star break. So, and then, of course, the big one, football heading our way. We will have you covered every which way possible there as well. I will talk to you guys later. Have a blessed day, and thank you very much.